Good morning, everyone. We'd like to request everyone to settle down as we will begin the opening ceremonies for the Philippine Space Week exhibit. This event is being streamed live on the Philippine Space Agency or PhilSA Facebook page. We are at PhilSpace Agency on Facebook and all social media platforms. To formally open the program, may we request everyone to please rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, ewas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuyak ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit kong pagaw, ay hinagang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang islak ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling ko. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
You may now take your seats. Once again, good morning to our guests, partners, and colleagues, and welcome to the opening ceremony of Philippine Space Week 2025. My name is Jo Briones. I'm from the PhilSA Public Relations and Information Division, and I'll be your host for this morning's program on behalf of the Philippine Space Agency, or PhilSA. This year, we celebrate Philippine Space Week with the theme, Yamang Kalawakan ay Likas sa Maunlad na Pilipinas, recognizing the role of space science and technology in building a peaceful, resilient, and progressive nation. Thank you once again for joining us here today at Gateway Mall 2, Araneta City, as we kick off a week-long celebration of space innovation, collaboration, and inspiration. Since its creation in 2019 through the Philippine Space Act, RA 11363, PhilSA has been guided and supported by the Philippine Space Council, our principal advisory body for space-related policies and programs. Today, we are honored to hear messages of support from members of the Council, representing various agencies, working together to strengthen our national space ecosystem. Let's begin with a video from the recently appointed Chair of Science and Technology from the Senate, Senator Bam Aquino.
Magandang araw po sa lahat na nandito sa opening ng Philippine Space Week exhibit, and of course, happy 6th anniversary sa Philippine Space Act. Si Senator Bam Aquino po ito. Bilang chairman ng Senate Committee on Science and Technology, asahan niyo po kami ang kakampi ninyo pagdating po sa Senado. Kasama niyo kami sa laban para mas mapalakas ang kaalaman ng ating mga scientists at manaliksik pagdating sa paghahanda at pag-aaral ng mga kalamidad na maaaring tumama sa ating bansa. Kasama niyo po kami sa mga inobasyon na yan at handa po kaming tumulong para mas mapalakas pa ang ating Philippine Space Agency. Muli, congratulations po sa Space Week exhibit. Mabuhay kayo at mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Filipino. Next up, we have a representative from one of the members of the Philippine Space Council. The Department of National Defense. Their secretary is one of the vice
Morning
chairpersons-
to Deputy Director.
The Department of National Defense is one of the members of the Philippine Space Council, and their secretary is one of the vice chairpersons of the said council. Being represented here today and to deliver the speech on behalf of the secretary, we have DND as Assistant Secretary Rene Raul Romel Honasan. Please give him a warm round of applause, please.
Good morning to everyone. Allow me first to acknowledge the personalities here present. Of course, the Deputy Director General, Space Science and Technology, Dr. Jane Perez. Attorney Noel Risa D. Castillo, Director for Space Policy and International Cooperation Bureau. Dr. Mark Cesar Talampas, Director for Space Technology, Missions and Systems Bureau. Dr. Ariel C. Blanco, Director for Space Information Infrastructure Bureau. Engineer Rolando Martinez, Director for Space Industry and Strategic Business Development Bureau. Dr. Renabel Reyes, Director for Space Science Mission Bureau. Other VVIPs here present, NYC Executive Director and COO Lea Villalon, DFA Assistant Secretary Robespierre Bolivar, Marco Gemmer, Head of Cooperation at the EU Delegation in the Philippines, Ms. Tarja Kukanen, Development Counselor, Embassy of Finland to the Philippines, Anna Daniel, Embassy of Poland in Manila. Other guests here present, good morning to all. On behalf of the Department of National Defense and Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., I am honored to join you for the opening of the 2025 Philippine Space Week exhibit. Secretary Teodoro sends his congratulations to the Philippine Space Agency and expresses his support for its continued efforts to build a stronger, smarter, and more secure Philippines through space, science, and technology. Philippine Space Week coincides with the anniversary of the Philippines Space Act, the foundation of our national space program. It also raises awareness of space science and highlights the relevance of space technology in our daily lives. This year's theme, Yamang Kalawakan, ay likas sa maunlad na kinabukasan, captures the essence of our growing national endeavor. Space is no longer an abstract concept. It is a critical driver of national development and global competitiveness. In the defense sector, we see this transformation firsthand. Space capabilities enhance security operations, strengthen communications, aid in disaster response, and help safeguard our maritime domain. The department views space not as a theoretical pursuit, but as a strategic necessity. Investing in space means investing in security, disaster preparedness, and the well-being of the Filipino people. I thank PhilSA and its partners for your vision and commitment. You remind us that space science is not just about exploration, but about improving life. The DND, with the Secretary serving as co-vice chairperson of the Philippine Space Council, remains committed to strengthening policies and programs in research and development, and to supporting the growing space science community in the country. Let us harness the vast potential of the Filipino people to propel our nation to greater heights. On this note, I wish everyone a meaningful celebration of this year's Philippine Space Week. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, ASEC Honasan. The Department of National Defense, DND, is one of our steady partners in the Philippine Space Agency, especially in the pursuit of one of our key development areas, which is national security and, and securing of our sovereignty. So maraming salamat po ulit, DND ASEC Honasan. The next VIP who will be delivering as well a message on behalf of their secretary is Assistant Secretary Robespierre L. Bolivar. He will be delivering the message on behalf of the Secretary of Department of Foreign Affairs. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Dr. Gay Jane Perez, DDG of PhilSA, and the honorable officials of the Philippine Space Agency, members of the Philippine Space Council, and honored guests from the European Union and member states, good morning. On behalf of Secretary of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Maria Teresa Lazaro, who is now with the President in his state visit to India, I offer the Department of Foreign Affairs congratulations to the Philippine Space Agency on its 6th anniversary and the successful 3rd Philippine Space Week. The Department of Foreign Affairs has long been a staunch partner of the Philippine Space Agency and fully supports strengthening the vital role of space science as a driver of national development. Prior to returning to DFA headquarters in Manila, I was assigned to the Philippine Embassy in Tokyo, where I saw firsthand the amazing strides our scientists and engineers were able to achieve in close partnership with the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency and Japanese universities. In the last 2 decades alone, the Philippines has leapfrogged from being a spectator in the space race to a bona fide spacefaring nation. There is now a deepening appreciation for the crucial role that space science and technology plays in our nation's security and progress, from communications to disaster risk reduction, to land and water use planning, and to enhancing our maritime domain awareness in the West Philippine Sea. The DFA joins a grateful nation in congratulating the Philippine Space Agency, the scientists, the engineers, and officials who made all of this possible. As Star Trek famously said, space is the final frontier. As PhilSA and the Philippine space science community exert every effort to maximize opportunities that outer space represents, the Department of Foreign Affairs will stand by you and will continue to support you in forging international partnerships that strengthen our national capabilities. Our whole-of-nation effort will enable us to maximize the benefits of our comparative advantages in this strategic sector, allowing our country, and if I may paraphrase again, to boldly go where no Filipino has gone before. Congratulations again to the Philippine space community. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, ASEC Bolivar. Thank you very much. One of the key development areas of the Philippine Space Agency is international cooperation. And as he mentioned, the DFA is a staunch partner in the activities of the Philippine Space Agency. So maraming salamat po ulit. And we have one last message of support from one of the members as well of the Philippine Space Council. So he sent us a video message. It's very personalized, actually. We have the Secretary of Information and Communications Technology, DICT Secretary Henry Aguda, and here is his video message.
Director General Dr. Perez, to the rest of the PhilSA team, your guests, and all the VIPs out there. Magandang umaga po. Pasensya na, hindi ako maka-attend dyan. Doon po ako sa Bangkok, trying to catch a flight back to Manila. Malayo na yung narating ng space agency natin. Sabi nga nila, hindi na siya suntok sa buwan. Abot kaya na ang bituin. Tulad po doon sa mga project nyo na Gila, Diwata, Maya, kakaiba na po yung mga satellites na nalo-launch natin from weather to surveillance and especially ang communication. Kami po sa DICT makikipag-partner po sa inyo. Lalo na with the intention of the President to connect everyone in the country. Gagamit po tayo ng mga satellite dyan. At bago namin ilagay mga satellite sa taas, alam ko dadaan muna tayo sa space. And this is great that right now, a generation of kids in our country will go up looking up to the stars, dreaming that one day they will touch it, one day they will map a journey to it, and fourth, that they will aspire to be one of them in the future. Dun sa mga future astronauts po natin dyan, at dun sa mga future space executives po natin, magandang umaga po uli. And hopefully, I get to see you in person again. Again, maraming salamat po for inviting me at sa susunod po, I will be there personally. Nag-usap po kami ni Dr. Perez na we will take our collaboration between DICT and PhilSA to more active participation in each other's programs. Nandito lang po kami, kasama ko ang DICT if you guys need anything. And again, happy anniversary and hope to see you back in Manila.
Maraming salamat po, DICT Secretary Aguda. ICT nga po talaga siya. Kahit saan po siya, he took advantage of our technologies para makapag-deliver po ng message para po sa ating celebration of Philippine Space Week at 6th anniversary po ng PhilSA. So maraming salamat po. Thank you to our PSC, Philippine Space Council members for the messages of support and to officially open the exhibit. Of course, magbibigay po kami ng opening remarks representing the Philippine Space Agency. We have the Deputy Director General for Space Science and Technology, Dr. Gay-Jane P. Perez. Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro, represented today by Mr. Robespierre Bolivar, Assistant Secretary from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Secretary Gilberto Chudoro, represented by ASEC Rene Raul Romel Honasan from the Department of National Defense. Mr. Marco Gemmer, Head of Cooperation at the at EU Delegation in the Philippines. Ms. Anna Krizak Danel, Embassy of Poland in Manila. Representatives of members of the Philippine Space Council who are present here today. Special thanks also to Secretary Aguda and Senator Bam earlier. Colleagues from the Philippine Space Agency, colleagues from the government, our partners from the private sector, representatives from the academe and the scientific community, our international collaborators, space enthusiasts, and everyone joining us here and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po at isang mapagpalang Philippine Space Week sa ating lahat. On behalf of the Philippine Space Agency, and together with Deputy Director General Dennis Villarente, it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 2025 Philippine Space Week. We gather here today not just to launch an exhibit, but to celebrate a vision, a shared aspiration for a bagong Pilipinas, a nation bridged by knowledge, uplifted by discovery, and empowered by innovation. In 2023, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. signed Proclamation Number 302, declaring August 8 to 14 of every year as Philippine Space Week. This observance aims to promote awareness of space science and technology, celebrate the global contributions of Filipinos in the space field, and highlight the real-world impact of space science and technology applications on the daily lives of Filipinos. Mula sa pagprotekta ng ating kalikasan at kagubatan, sa pagtukoy ng paparating na bagyo, sa pagpapalakas ng agrikultura, edukasyon at konektibidad, ang space science and technology ay hindi lamang tungkol sa mga bituin at planeta. Ito ay bahagi na ng ating tahanan, ng ating komunidad at ng ating kinabukasan. This year's theme, Hiyamang Kalawakan, ay likas sa maunlad na kinabukasan, beautifully reminds us that space is more than just a frontier. It is a foundation. At the heart of this celebration is a powerful truth. Space is for everyone, not just for astronauts or scientists, but for teachers, students, farmers, entrepreneurs, public servants, and ordinary citizens who look up at the stars and dare to dream. PhilSA was established in 2019 to be the central government agency for space science and technology applications. We are entrusted with a clear mission to promote and sustain a robust domestic space ecosystem that adds and creates value in space for and from Filipinos and for the world. Ngayong taon, bilang paggunita ng ika-6 na anibersaryo ng PhilSA, we proudly say, ang Pilipinas ay may kakayahan. Ang Pilipino ay may lugar sa kalawakan. This week, we are bringing space even closer to the people. Starting today, we open our 3-day Philippine Space Week exhibit here at Quantum Skyview Gateway Mall 2. We have models of our satellites on display, interactive activities for students and the public, and opportunities to learn more about how space touches every aspect of life. Today, we also mark a historic milestone with the ceremonial turnover of the Copernicus Mirror site, part of the National Copernicus Capacity Support Action Program for the Philippines, or COPFIL, a flagship initiative under the European Union's Global Gateway Strategy, implemented by PhilSA, the European Space Agency, the Department of Science and Technology, and the EU delegation to the Philippines. Through this mirror site, the Philippines now has faster local access to satellite data, supporting more effective responses in land use, agriculture, coastal protection, and disaster preparedness. This main stage event also includes a dialogue on gender in STEM, where I have the honor of joining fellow experts and advocates to discuss how inclusive and gender-responsive practices can unlock greater innovation and participation in science and space. Because building the future of space means making room for everyone in the conversation. Tomorrow, Saturday, we shine the spotlight on Filipino creativity and excellence. We will award winners of the Yamang Kalawakan poster making and poetry contests, recognize the space law essay writing competition, and highlight stories from the scholars of the Philippines Advanced Degree for Accelerating Strategic Space R&D and Applications, or Ad Astra Scholarship Program, all showcasing the bright minds shaping our future. On Sunday, we invite you to magsimula, mga anekdotang galing sa mga inhenyero ng mula. This special panel will feature Filipino engineers who helped build the Multispectral Unit for Land Assessment, or MULA satellite. They will share stories of challenge, grit, and passion. Experiences that show how far we have come and how others, especially the youth, can start their own journey in space. Because the future doesn't start tomorrow, it starts now. Magsimula na tayo. Beyond these walls, the celebration continues. On August 13, we will hold Cosmos, or the Community Observation of Stars, Moon, and Outer Space, a synchronized stargazing activity that will happen across all 17 regions of the country. Together with over 20 partner astronomy groups, we are bringing telescopes and guided skywatching experiences to communities, whether urban, rural, or remote. Because looking at the stars should not just be a privilege, but a shared national experience. A moment of unity, curiosity, and wonder. Sabay-sabay po tayong tumingala at mangarap. We are still a young agency, but just take a moment to reflect. All of these in just 6 years. And the most exciting part is what more can we do and what more we can achieve in the years to come. Mga kababayan, this week is more than a celebration. It is a call to be curious, a call to collaborate, a call to believe that space is not far, it is ours. Whether you are a young dreamer imagining your first satellite, a policymaker working toward innovation, or a parent guiding your child's future, you are a part of this journey. Let us harness our yamang kalawakan, our people, passion, and potential to shape a sustainable and inclusive future. May the Philippine Space Week awaken new dreams, bold ideas, and a deeper belief in the power of science and the greatness of the Filipino. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo at pakikiisa. Maligayang Philippine Space Week sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Deputy Director General Dr. Gay Jane P. Perez of the Philippine Space Agency. We will now proceed to the official unveiling of the Philippine Space Week exhibit and activities. So we'd like to request the members of the PhilSA Executive Committee and representatives from the Philippine Space Council to join us for the ribbon cutting and walkthrough of the exhibit. We'd like to request PhilSA staff to kindly guide our PhilSA Execom and our VIPs to go to the back for the ribbon cutting ceremonies. So para mabuksan po natin officially ang ating exhibit. We are also streaming this event live on the Facebook page of PhilSA at PhilSpace Agency on Facebook and all social media platforms. So the PhilSA Executive Committee, our leaders in this agency, are now headed towards the entrance of the exhibit to begin the ribbon cutting ceremonies. After the ribbon is cut, they will be touring around the exhibit area where they will visit each booth and see what each exhibitor has in store for them and for everyone visiting the Philippine Space Week exhibit. Our esteemed guests and also our visitors can go around and see the exhibits from the following institutions: Ateneo de Davao University, Iloilo Science and Technology University or ISATU Space Society, Indiana Aerospace University from Cebu, the Research Center for the Natural and Applied Sciences, University of Santo Tomas, Department of Agriculture, BIFAR and PhilRice, Department of Science and Technology, Advanced Science and Technology Institute or DOST-ASTI, Department of Science and Technology, MIRDC, Department of Science and Technology, PAG-ASA, Department of Science and Technology, PHIVOX, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, NAMRIA, the National Maritime Center, Analytics and AI Association of the Philippines, Manila Street Astronomers, the Geological Society of the Philippines. We also have we're also going to feature a meteorite collection at the booth of the Manila Street Astronomers by Mr. Christian Cruz. We also have an exhibit from the Philippine Astronomical Society or PAS. We have an exhibit from the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space Philippines, or SEDS. Exhibit also from Applied Machining Corporation. And last but not the least, we also have an exhibit from the National Copernicus Capacity Support Action Program, or COPFIL. So we are just waiting for the ribbon to be cut. And the ceremony is being streamed live on Facebook at PhilSpace Agency. So ayan na po ang ating mga VIPs. Nasa harap na po sila ng Philippine Space Week exhibit. And now, the PhilSA Executive Committee, those are our directors and deputy directors general, as well as our visitors from the Department of National Defense, the Department of Foreign Affairs, the European Union delegation in the Philippines, the Embassy of Finland to the Philippines, and our friends from the media are touring around the exhibit. Para po sa ating mga mall goers dito sa Gateway 2, the Philippine Space Week exhibit is free for all and free of charge. Kaya punta lang po sila dito. Andito po kami sa Gateway 2 sa Quantum Skyview from August 8 to August 10. That's Friday until Saturday, 2025. Happy Philippine Space Week! At ipagdiwang natin ang yamang kalawakan. Kasalukuyan pong naglilibot ang PhilSA Execom at ang ating mga bisita sa exhibit ng Philippine Space Week. Maliban po sa mga proyekto at mga outputs ng Philippine Space Agency o PhilSA, may mga exhibits po tayo galing sa iba't ibang government agencies, private companies, universities, at mga space science and technology enthusiasts and practitioners. Ngayon po ay kinukwento ng ating Deputy Director General, Gay Jane P. Perez, ang tungkol sa Philippine Space Agency, pati rin po ang mga satellites na gawa ng Pilipino. Nagsimula po tayo sa Diwata 1 noong 2016. Gawa po ng Department of Science and Technology or DOST. Ang DOST po ay isa sa mga vice chairs ng Philippine Space Council. Para po sa mga mall goers dito sa Gateway 2, Araneta City, pwede po kayong pumasok sa Philippine Space Week exhibit. This exhibit is free of charge and free for all. Pag naglibot po kayo, marami po kayong matututunan, marami po kayong makikita, at may chance po silang manalo ng mga merch galing sa Philippine Space Agency at mga exhibitors po natin. Meron po tayong exhibits galing sa Ateneo de Davao University, Iloilo Science and Technology University, Space Society, Indiana Aerospace University, Rizal Technological University, the Research Center for the Natural and Applied Sciences of the University of Santo Tomas, Department of Agriculture, BFAR, Department of Agriculture, PhilRice, Department of Science and Technology, Advanced Science and Technology Institute, DOST-ASTI, DOST MIRDC. Andito rin po ang ating mga kaibigan from Pag-asa at FIVOX. We also have an exhibit from DENR Namria. We have an exhibit from the National Maritime Center. From the Analytics and AI Association of the Philippines, AIAP. From COPPHIL, or the National Copernicus Capacity Support Action Program. We also have an exhibit from the Geological Society of the Philippines. We have an exhibit from Manila Street Astronomers, and we also have an upcoming meteorite collection display. We also have a booth for the Philippine Astronomical Society. Meron din po tayong booth para sa Students for the Exploration of Development of Space Philippines, or SEDS. And last but not the least, we have an exhibit from the Applied Machining Corporation. So last year po, dito rin po tayo sa Gateway 2, nag-exhibit for Philippine Space Week. And this is the second time that Philippine Space Agency is here at Gateway 2 for the celebration of Philippine Space Week. Thank you very much to Araneta City for having us again this year. For our viewers online, what you see right now on screen is the walkthrough of the Philippine Space Week exhibit right here at the Quantum Skydome, Gateway 2, Araneta City. This event is being streamed live on Facebook. Our social media handle is @PhilSpace Agency for all SOCMED platforms. Maraming salamat, Happy Philippine Space Week, and mabuhay ang yamang kalawakan. The walkthrough of the exhibit is currently being streamed online on the Facebook page of PhilSA. We are at Phil Space Agency on Facebook and all other social media platforms. For all of the mall goers here at Gateway 2, Araneta City, this exhibit is free for all and free of charge. So you could just come in, sign up, answer a short survey, and you get a chance to win exclusive merch from PhilSA. We have stickers, pop sockets, tote bags, and many more. So please proceed to the registration booth, fill out the attendance sheet, and get a chance to win merchandise from the Philippine Space Agency. Hard to procure and hard to find. Happy Philippine Space Week po sa lahat at mabuhay ang yamang kalawakan. We would also like to remind everyone that eating is not allowed inside the exhibit area, but you may consume your drinks while you're going around for safety and cleanliness purposes. Para po sa ating mga mall goers, this Philippine Space Week exhibit is free for all and free of charge. Kaya pasok lang po sila dito, mag-register, and get a chance to win merchandise from the Philippine Space Agency. May space agency na ang Pilipinas? Opo, nandito po kami ngayon sa Gateway 2, Araneta City. Happy Philippine Space Week and mabuhay ang yamang kalawakan! The Philippine Space Week exhibit is officially open. We are inviting everyone to enjoy the rest of the day exploring the PhilSA Space Science and Technology Applications exhibit and to join the rest of our activities throughout Philippine Space Week from today, August 8 until August 14. Follow us on social media at PhilSpace Agency and help us share the wonders of our Yamang Kalawakan. Maraming salamat and happy Philippine Space Week 2025.